Hey guys and gals, what is going on? Jonny Middleton here, welcome back to another video today, and yeah, today's actually something I haven't done for a while again, guys and gals. It's actually it's like a brand new discussion and debate video for y'all, because I know I posted on Twitter like earlier this week how I was thinking like getting out a new guitar cover, and how like my pinky fingers like hurting like hell, but yeah, it's like, it's work in progress. Like, I've actually been like doing like little edits, so like, recording myself playing the song. But, you guys and gals deserve much better than the stage that amount. I mean, it's not bad in terms of, like, chord switch, just a case of, my little pinky finger playing ballers. Yeah, it seems like a thing I like develop a bit of, like, a callus on my pinky finger, just occurs playing guitar too much, and, but yeah, it'll get out there eventually. I mean, you guys and gals, hopefully all enjoyed the, like the Green Day cover, so I hope you can all enjoy whatever's coming next. It's a bit of a different touch than Green Day this time, but it's still on, like, the similar lines, but I think it's all the same acoustic material. I've got an idea for like a future guitar cover in terms of like an electric song, but some kind of guys like run over my guitar teacher or something. So it's all like different ways of learning, and yeah, after that ridiculously long intro, guys, I think it's cool to get to like the meat and potatoes of this video for y'all. And there's something like I had in my mind. So, like, I thought when I was like listening to these two bands, like I was able to like draw parallels between them. I've got like, two other bands as well that I could think of doing. Like, I wouldn't say this is like necessarily like the start of a new series or anything, but it's just like a little like subsidiary thing going on. And what basically I'm getting at, guys and gals, is comparison terms like sound-wise between the bands Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin. Now, Led Zeppelin, as you guys and gals know, like, they're considered to be like the main like originators of the heavy metal sound. Emerged with their debut studio album Led Zeppelin 1 in 1969, which I've reviewed for y'all, and yeah, I actually managed to find this little beauty as well. I know it's not an original, but I've got Led Zeppelin 2 at last. Oh yeah. And anyway, yeah, like Led Zeppelin, guys, it's like they emerged with like that sound in 1969. It's kind of a very like psychedelic rock sound. Obviously not along the same lines as like Cream or Jimi Hendrix who were around at that time too. And it's sort of like different from like the main like vibe of like other bands, like more rock bands in the 60s, like, your Beatles, your Rolling Stones, your Kinks, and the Who, for instance. Like, those sort of bands, like, so they sort of like differed from Led Zeppelin, and that, they had more like a, it's kind of hard to describe, it's more like a rock-oriented sound space, like Led Zeppelin, who like went in a more like heavy direction. And yeah, it was like Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath both formed in the year 1968. Obviously, Led Zeppelin emerged out of the ashes of a previous band called the Yardbirds, which their guitarist Jimmy Page had previously been in. And Black Sabbath, they like started as like one band. So although Black Sabbath like a few names, such as like Earth, I think before, but they had to change. It was like another band being called Earth. But yeah, if I ever do like a band review of Black Sabbath for you guys, I'll get into all this stuff for y'all. And yeah, like Led Zeppelin's like general sound. Obviously, because Black Sabbath released their like debut studio album in like 1970, like so like before Led Zeppelin 3. But obviously, when Black Sabbath released their debut studio album, like Led Zeppelin both 1 and 2 have both been released, because Led Zeppelin 1 and 2 both released in the year 1969, and yeah, it's like a very actually a very psychedelic, trippy sound. More rock and heavy oriented, different from the other British bands at that time. And like Black Sabbath really took that and so like utilised it, run off like a direct influence. Right, maybe Sabbath had heard the Zeppelin records and thought, yeah, but we'll do something a bit different to that. And like the similarities in terms of like sound, like like Tony Iommi plays a lot of riffs in a similar vein to Jimmy Page. Although that wasn't really apparent on Sabbath's second studio album, Paranoid, they really like listened to the sound of their own on that one. It's really prevalent on their debut studio album, which is titled Black Sabbath. And yeah, as well as like the solos as well, like from Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, they're also prevalent in sort of like the Black Sabbath debut studio album too. I mean, like not like a lot of the solos on that song, as well as like slightly intro to the song The Wizard from Black Sabbath's debut studio album. Sort of like it's similar to like general like guitar sound that reminds us of the song Good Times Bad Times by Led Zeppelin. And obviously, like, Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath are both like considered to be, it's like the real like instigators of the heavy metal sound, because they're both emanating from like the West Midlands area. So, but yeah, like with Led Zeppelin, so like 1 and 2, like it's not like there's like a vibe like in the so little song Heartbreaker on Led Zeppelin 2. There's sort of like a riff, it looks like 457, and like Tony Iommi really took that and made it much more like, audible, because obviously when Jimmy Page played, like Jimmy Page could play some ridiculously fast solos, and this is why he's a bit of like kind of seems to be like a rough around the edges sort of solo guitarist, because he can like his solos like ramble on I just realised what I did there. But yeah, like, but you know, as I was saying, like, the comparisons in terms of like sound, so like between Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, you know, like that very like distinct guitar tone, I suppose. Yeah, there are like differences to be had. Obviously, Black Sabbath there, as reading like the sorry, Australia out is Led Zeppelin's 1 and 2. I was looking at artwork to Black Sabbath's debut album, which I have here. It's not original. It's like it's not a deluxe. It's something I got from here a while ago. So you know, it said like Black Sabbath like basically wants to be like heavier than everybody else. You know, and Black Sabbath really did have the like I said, like I was saying, guys, so it's like general like guitar tone and like solo utilization from Tony Iommi. You know, there are a lot of parallels to be drawn between his general guitar sound and Jimmy Page's. But there are also like differences. Like Black Sabbath's sound was a lot more dark than Led Zeppelin, and their like lyrical themes differentiated from that band too. Like you know, with Black Sabbath, it's all about like witchcraft, especially on the first album. You know, and all that good stuff, and you know, Led Zeppelin more influenced about like that, like love and good times, you know, because obviously Led Zeppelin emerged from like the 1960s, so there's still a lot like the hippie influence around them. Peace, man. Yeah, but also like I was saying, guys, like Black Sabbath wants to do a lot more like dark lyrical direction, and in terms of like general sound, in terms of like differences, like you know, Black Sabbath sound is generally a lot darker, which is obviously shown in the first track on their eponymously titled debut studio album, which is called Black Sabbath, and you know, that tolling bell, a very ominous vibe, was something that like Led Zeppelin didn't do. But as I was saying, like you know, Tony Iommi's guitar tone is very similar. And although Tony Iommi played a Gibson SG and Jimmy Page played a Gibson Les Paul, but both Gibsons, so yeah. Yeah, Black Sabbath, you know, the Zeppelin influence is really prevalent on their debut studio album, which is titled Black Sabbath, which is the iconic image of Ozzy or some sort of witch character like the background, like the trees. And that mill, like, there is just basically like in Oxfordshire. I'd love to visit there someday, as I said, and, you know, like, Sabbath did follow like the same like album format as Zeppelin. And I believe like Zeppelin's debut studio was like recording like only a short space of time too, sort of like what Sabbath's was. Although Sabbath's was it was more like DIY. So like, you know, Sabbath went into the studio over like a day and recorded like the album in 2 days. Basically, like you know, 1 day is for recording and 1 day is for mixing and like general editing from producer Roger Bain. And you know, Black Sabbath, right, you know, they recorded most of their songs live, and that was sort of in the case of Led Zeppelin 1. You know, but with like I was saying, guys, like the darkened sound and lyrical themes, they're sort of differentiated from Zeppelin, and you know, Black Sabbath really, you know, honed their style. It's not like the comparisons, you know, are primarily drawn between Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, as well as Black Sabbath's titled debut studio album, which I was saying was released for Led Zeppelin 3. But also when Black Sabbath released their second studio album, Paranoid, in the same year in 1970. Another parallel, because Led Zeppelin released their first two studio albums in 1969, and Sabbath released their first two studio albums in 1970. You know, with Paranoid, they really saw Sabbath take on a much more like darker path to Zeppelin, whereas like Zeppelin, you know, like made sense like upbeat sounding like guitar, you know, style, I suppose. You know, as I was saying, like you know, comparisons can be drawn between like you know, Jimmy Page and Tony Iommi's like tone. You know, with the Paranoid, like Black Sabbath, you know, they really went a lot darker, you know, and their songs obviously, you know, sort of similar to Zeppelin, and they're more, like, you know, really long and expansive, but, you know, on Sabbath's second studio album, Paranoid, that's when they're really, you know, it was sort of like reminiscent of Led Zeppelin in many ways, but, you know, the general sound for Black Sabbath's Paranoid was a hell of a lot different to anything that Zeppelin ever done, because it was a hell of a lot darker, much more distortion, much more laid on effects, which is like the wah, for instance, on a sort of Electric Funeral. You know, and notice the Paranoid was a lot darker affair than their debut studio album was. You know, there's like a certain vibe I can get from like Black Sabbath's debut studio album and Led Zeppelin's like first two albums. You know, it's like a very, it's like I describe it's like a very innocent, modest sort of guitar tone. Obviously, like Black Sabbath really cranked their Laney amps up, well, Tony Iommi did, and they turned well to 11. It turned like you know, it's basically like you know, made his guitar turn a lot darker to what Jimmy Page's was. And, you know, that's what emerged from, for Paranoid, which I'm not sure because I'm an absolute noob. Features the awesome image of, like, the dude on the front with, like, the artwork and the sword and stuff. You know, obviously Sabbath's themes, you know, like I say, like, tone-wise, guys, are very similar to Jimmy Page's. So it's like artwork too, like, Black Sabbath's albums were, like, darker styles, say, what Led Zeppelin's was. That's, like, reflects, like, it's like the themes of the music as well as, like, the music itself. You know, and I'm paranoid, you know, like Black Sabbath looks at things such like War, for instance, on War Pigs and Hand of Doom, you know, like LSD, I think, or some sort of drugs in the songs Fair as Wear Boots, I think. You know, and Zeppelin didn't really explore, like I was saying, guys, they like sounds generally. So it revolved around like love and peace, or it's reflected in the hippie movement. But that's all because I'm covering their two first studio albums. Although there are a lot of like mystical sort of like not animated themes. So like as a word, non-fictional themes, shall I say. There's a lot of, because on Led Zeppelin 2, I think there's a bit of reference to like Lord of the Rings, I think, somewhere along the lines, and yeah, that's something that Sabbath explored too, I guess, with songs such as I Need to Refresh My Mind, Planet Caravan, I suppose, because that's like about like going through space with your loved one, I suppose, or, you know, NIB, Sleeping Village. I don't know, but Black Sabbath did really explore like very mystical themes throughout the course of their career. Not necessarily as much on say what Black Sabbath Paranoid were. You know, and Black Sabbath's themes generally revolved around much more like, you know, like darker like things in life, like drugs. You know, obviously, like Black Sabbath would encase themselves with a whole lot of drug issues, which saw, you know, Ozzy Osbourne having to leave the band in the late 1970s and end form a successful solo career. But then subsequently returned to Sabbath to record the absolutely amazing album 13 in 2012 or 13, which it was released in. I don't remember these things. But yeah, like, as I was saying, guys, like Led Zeppelin, you know, their lyrical themes for all like the more happy things in life, obviously that reflects on like the music too. You know, like Black Sabbath's music, obviously, like I said, like Tony Iommi has very similar tones to Robert Plant only on their first album. You know, and obviously their darker themes reflect like the dark field of music, whereas Led Zeppelin's you know, music was more upbeat, despite having that like heavy metal tone. You know, and it reflects like the themes too. You know, and you can see why parallels can be drawn between like Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath too, because, you know, like general guitar tone was like, you know, it was like the initial heavy metal like movement sound. Like, you know, like what was considered to be a heavy 1969, 1970, you know, it would later evolve in, you know, bands such like Metallica or Megadeth, like the thrash movement of the 80s, for instance. You know, that would really, you know, propel heaviness to like the next level. But like another parallel, guys, bits like Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, like, you know, they like form the basis for that, you know, like other like subgenres to take off, I suppose. You know, like there's other bands too at this time like really explored, and it obviously continued like later on into the 1970s too. Bands such as like Pink Floyd, for instance. And Deep Purple, I believe, because I think Deep Purple released their album Burn in 1968, same year as Sabbath, Zeppelin reform. There's just like that initial heavy metal sound that's like, you know, it evolved over time, but obviously like bands like Zeppelin and Sabbath, Deep Purple and Pink Floyd, you know, so like laid the remnants. So I wouldn't say Pink Floyd necessarily was like heavy, so like Deep Purple, Sabbath or Zeppelin, but they did have an integral role to play because their music was like sort of like that similar tone. So yeah, guys, I think that's just about that comparison summed up to the T. Like, you know, there are like little, in conclusion, you know, Sabbath and Zeppelin, they laid the fundamental foundations for heavy metal to come in the future. Yeah, and as I say, like Jim Page and Tony Iommi's guitar tone is similar, but Black Sabbath's music's obviously a lot darker, and that's shown in their second studio Paranoid, that really came into force in their own, and that's why they're revered amongst fans as just not being like Zeppelin imitators, I suppose. Although my guitar teacher says that Sabbath are just like a watered down Zeppelin, bro. If you watch this video, I'm sure you understand, my friend. But yeah, Black Sabbath's music is very dark, but the themes, whereas Led Zeppelin's music is very like upbeat sounding, to reflect their clear themes also. So, you know, it was primarily on Sabbath's first album, said guys, like the Zeppelin influences like most prevalent at times. But yeah, guys, this has been it's like the first, well, it's not, as I say, it's not really like a serious market discussion and debate sort of thing, between like comparisons between bands and how much parallels can be drawn, I suppose. Kind of a crappy name for a series, that, wasn't it? Bands that can be drawn due to like different parallels. Pretty stupid title, but yeah, that's probably why it's probably best as like a discussion and debate, the continuation, guys. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video, and so until hopefully I'll be able to get this like guitar cover I keep speaking of sometime out. If my pinky finger decides to play a ball and not develop like little calluses on, but you know, that's just one of those things. So yeah, guys, hope you all enjoyed this video, and so until next time, I've been Jonny Middleton, and so until then, stay safe, stay strong, and I shall see you all in the future forever. Peace and much love.